Seniors, never refrigerate these 9 foods. Here's why. Did you know that more than 9,000 seniors die every year from foodborne illness? And over 95% of those deaths are directly linked to improper food storage. And yes, that includes refrigerating foods that were never meant to be chilled. Over 82% of seniors are refrigerating at least one food that's silently damaging their health. You think it's staying fresh, but in reality, it's spoiling faster, losing nutrients, and creating toxins your aging body can't fight off. Shocking new research shows that when certain foods are stored cold, they release toxins, lose nutrients, and become dangerous, especially for aging digestion and immune systems. And the result? Bloating, blood pressure spikes, brain fog, even bacterial overgrowth inside your gut, without a single warning label. In this video, we'll reveal the 9 foods you must never refrigerate, ranked from least to most dangerous. Stay with us until the end, because the final one is in nearly every senior's kitchen right now, and it could be triggering gas, fatigue, and gut damage in just days. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments, where are you watching us from today? Now, without any further ado, let's get started. The 9 foods you should never refrigerate. Food number 9, tomatoes. Refrigerating tomatoes doesn't just make them taste worse. It actively makes them less beneficial and more irritating for the aging digestive system. After 65, digestion becomes slower, enzyme production declines, and the stomach struggles to break down fibrous foods. Tomatoes, when stored in the fridge, become physiologically harder for the senior gut to handle. Cold temperatures damage the tomato's delicate cell membranes. This causes the inner structure to collapse, what you see as mushiness. But inside your body, that structural collapse means fewer active digestive enzymes, less lycopene, and lower levels of key antioxidants. Lycopene supports heart function, arterial health, and lowers inflammatory markers, all crucial in aging bodies. But once refrigerated, those compounds start degrading rapidly. For seniors already dealing with GERD, acid reflux, or intestinal inflammation, a chilled tomato is more than bland, it becomes a gut irritant. It digests slower, ferments more easily in the G tract, and can contribute to post-meal bloating, stomach tightness, or even acid rebound. These aren't random discomforts, they're direct consequences of eating tomatoes that your body can no longer process efficiently because refrigeration altered their core structure. This isn't about preference, it's about survival. After 65, nutrient absorption is harder, and you simply can't afford to waste what little bioavailable nutrition is left in your food. Tomatoes are most nutritious when left on the counter to ripen fully. When ripened properly, their vitamin C levels spike, their lycopene becomes more usable, and their natural enzymes stay intact, supporting your gut instead of stressing it. The practical fix: keep your tomatoes out of the fridge. Place them in a bowl, stem side down, in a cool, dry spot. Once they ripen, eat them. If they get too ripe, cook them gently into sauces to make the lycopene even more absorbable. But never throw them into the fridge just to make them last. What you're really doing is killing their value and making your gut work harder for less. Food number 8, bananas. Bananas are often seen as the senior-safe fruit. Soft, easy to chew, high in potassium. But storing them in the fridge ruins every part of that equation. When you chill a banana, the cold immediately shuts down the ripening enzymes. That's why the peel turns brown or grey. But the inside stays rubbery, starchy, and tasteless. But this isn't just about texture, it's about how that under-ripened banana behaves inside a 65-plus digestive system. Unripe bananas are harder to break down. They contain resistant starches that don't convert into usable sugars. This puts more pressure on your pancreas to regulate glucose metabolism. With slower insulin response, this leads to spikes and crash, morning fatigue, brain fog, jitteriness, and hunger right after eating. It's not just low energy, it's a blood sugar roller coaster caused by poor ripening. Now let's talk gut impact. Bananas are rich in pectin and soluble fiber, but only when fully ripe. When chilled early, those fibers harden and become binding. That's why cold bananas are known to cause constipation, bloating, and trapped gas, especially in seniors with existing motility issues. If your gut is sluggish, a cold banana makes it worse. If you've ever felt full but heavy, bloated but backed up, and you had a cold banana that morning, now you know the link. There's also the vascular risk. Seniors who eat bananas for potassium benefits need that potassium to support blood pressure control and muscle function, especially in the legs. But the potassium isn't as bioavailable in an unripe banana. Refrigeration halts ripening, leaving the nutrients locked inside in a form your aging gut can't extract effectively. The fix: simple but critical. Only eat bananas that have ripened naturally on the counter, not in the fridge. The peel should show brown specks. The inside should be soft and slightly sweet. That's when the starches have converted, the fiber is gentle, and the potassium is ready to work. If bananas are overripe, freeze them, don't chill them. Freezing locks nutrients in, refrigeration kills them. Food number 7. Onions. Onions are praised for heart health and gut benefits, but throw them in the fridge and everything changes. For seniors, that change can mean the difference between digestive support and digestive chaos. Here's what happens the moment you refrigerate an onion. Its outer skin absorbs moisture. That moisture turns to condensation, and that dampness triggers a chemical breakdown. The onion begins to sweat sulfur compounds, and as soon as you cut it open, you release a concentrated hit of gas and acid that your body isn't designed to handle raw, especially after 65. Once sulfur compounds oxidize in a cold environment, they become irritants. Your gut, already slower and more sensitive with age, reacts by producing more acid to try and digest what now feels like a chemical irritant. You may not taste the difference, but you feel it later. Gas, stomach tension, burning in the throat, a tight chest, or bowel pressure hours after the meal. For seniors who already suffer from acid reflux, hiatal hernia, or irritable bowel issues, this creates a chain reaction. Cold onions trigger acid. Acid weakens the esophageal valve that lets more acid creep upward. But that's not all. Suddenly, a single cold onion in your salad or sandwich causes hours of discomfort and disrupted sleep. Onions contain prebiotics, fiber compounds that feed your healthy gut bacteria. These help regulate blood sugar and improve stool consistency. But when onions are refrigerated, the moisture and cold damage that fiber. You're left with a harsh, fibrous compound that becomes more fermentable, meaning your intestines create more gas as they try to break it down. If you've been feeling bloated, gassy, or foggy after eating raw onions, you're not imagining it. It's your gut struggling to process a broken down food it was never meant to handle cold. What's the fix? Keep whole onions in a dry, ventilated container. Store them in a drawer, not the fridge. Once you cut them, use them within 24 hours, never days later. And if you've got a sensitive gut, cook them gently. Cooking restores digestive ease, neutralizes the harsh compounds, and unlocks more of the natural sulfur that helps cleanse the liver and boosts circulation. When used right, onions help. But refrigerated onions, they hurt more than they help. Food number 6. Honey. Honey is one of nature's most powerful healing substances. But put it in the fridge, and you ruin its entire biological structure. When honey is chilled, it crystallizes. That process doesn't just make it harder to scoop. It damages the natural enzymes, destroys the beneficial compounds, and causes sugar separation. What you're left with isn't the thick, golden medicine you think you're eating. It becomes a clumpy, cold, nutrient-dead sugar bomb. For seniors, this is dangerous. Raw honey supports immunity, soothes digestion, and helps stabilize blood sugar. But when you refrigerate it, everything goes sideways. The glucose separates from the rest of the structure, meaning faster sugar absorption the moment it hits your system. That means blood sugar spikes, energy crash, and increased inflammation, especially dangerous for seniors managing insulin resistance, fatigue, or weight control. But that's not the only danger. Cold honey thickens and becomes overly sticky. That sounds minor until you realize it can become a choking hazard, especially for seniors with dry mouth, reduced saliva, or swallowing difficulties. When thick honey sticks to the back of the throat or gums, it can also lead to digestive blockages, especially when mixed with oats, bread, or other dry foods. If you've been using refrigerated honey, thinking it's still healthy, and you've experienced more acid reflux, digestive heaviness, or sugar crash after breakfast, you're not imagining it. The enzymes are dead, the antioxidants are gone, you're just eating syrup. The fix? Simple. Store honey at room temperature, sealed and in a dark cabinet, away from heat and light. Even if it crystallizes, don't panic, just place the sealed jar in warm, not hot water to reliquefy. Never microwave it, that destroys the delicate properties completely. Keep it warm, keep it alive, and let it actually support your body the way it was meant to. Food number 5. Garlic. Garlic is famous for boosting immunity, lowering blood pressure, and protecting the heart, but only when it's stored and used correctly. Once you refrigerate garlic, you strip it of everything that makes it powerful and turn it into something that irritates your gut, poisons your digestion, and weakens your defenses. Here's the hard truth. Garlic is a live, active bulb. When you put it in a cold, moist fridge, the garlic becomes unstable. It starts sprouting, and with that sprouting comes a chemical shift. The active compound, allicin, begins to degrade while sulfuric byproducts take over. Those byproducts are harsh, sharp, and inflammatory, especially inside a body that's already dealing with slow digestion, lowered stomach acid, or medication-induced gut issues. If you've ever eaten garlic and felt bloated, nauseous, burpy, or even slightly dizzy, this is why. Refrigerated garlic can cause gastric irritation that mimics food poisoning symptoms. Seniors are especially vulnerable because aging reduces mucosal protection in the digestive tract, leaving it exposed and sensitive to sulfur gases and unstable oils released by cold, damaged garlic. What to do instead? Store garlic in a breathable mesh bag or basket in a cool, dry place. Never sealed, never cold. Crush garlic fresh, and if your digestion is sensitive, let it sit for 10 minutes before gently cooking it. This softens its acids, neutralizes harsh sulfur, and keeps its healing compounds alive. Cooked garlic can still support immunity, but cold garlic can tear your gut apart. Food number 4. Potatoes. If you've been storing potatoes in the fridge to make them last longer, stop immediately. That habit might be preserving shelf life, but inside your body, it's setting off a chain reaction of toxic buildup, blood pressure instability, and digestive stress. Let's break it down. When raw potatoes are chilled, the cold triggers a chemical defense mechanism in the plant. Starches begin converting into sugars. That sugar conversion might seem innocent until you cook those potatoes. During baking or frying, those sugars combine with amino acids to create acrylamides, toxic compounds linked to nerve damage, slow metabolism, cellular stress, and long-term inflammation. If you're over 65 and already have nerve issues, tremors, fatigue, or brain fog, this hidden reaction could be fueling it. What happens next? Bloating, gassiness, heavy limbs, blood sugar crash, intestinal pressure. These aren't just signs of eating too much. They're signals your body is overloaded by a food that was chemically changed in the fridge. And if you see sprouts on your refrigerated potatoes, throw them out immediately. Those sprouts are laced with glycoalkaloids, naturally occurring toxins that irritate the gut, slow nerve function, and can actually cause weakness in the legs, muscle cramps, and mental fog. Yes, just from a sprouted potato. Seniors often eat potatoes for comfort, but there's nothing comforting about a food that's silently draining your energy, clouding your brain, and bloating your gut. The longer it sits cold, the worse it gets. Food number 3. Bread. Bread feels simple, safe. But once you refrigerate it, it becomes something else entirely, something your body struggles to recognize, break down, or absorb properly. And after 65, the effects are even more severe. Here's the science. When bread is refrigerated, its starches undergo a structural shift called retrogradation. The soft, absorbable parts of the bread harden, the gluten tightens, the crumb loses moisture and compresses into a tough, rubbery mass. And here's the worst part. Your gut can't handle it. As you age, your ability to digest dense starches weakens. The enzymes needed to break down these complex carbohydrates are less active. That means this now hardened bread sits in the stomach longer, causing sluggish digestion, trapped gas, bloating, constipation, and long-term blood sugar instability. What feels like an innocent piece of toast becomes a slow-moving block in your digestive tract. The gut strains, your insulin spikes, your energy crashes, your bowel slows. Let's not forget what most seniors do to fix cold bread. They toast it. But toasting hardened, cold bread doesn't restore its quality. It just burns the exterior and dries the interior further. You end up eating a charred, dehydrated slice of food that demands more chewing, more acid, more insulin, and gives you almost nothing in return. If you've ever felt full but heavy after toast, or sluggish for hours after breakfast, this is likely why. The fix: simple and powerful. Keep bread at room temperature in a bread box if you'll eat it within a few days. For longer storage, freeze it, never refrigerate it. Freezing locks in softness and nutrition without breaking down the starch. When you're ready, gently reheat it in the oven or toaster to restore texture without wrecking your gut. Choose whole grain, low sugar, low preservative bread for the best gut performance, and keep your mornings light, clean, and energizing. Food number 2. Coffee, ground or beans. Coffee is one of the most mishandled foods in senior kitchens, and the damage starts in the fridge. Many seniors store their coffee ground or whole beans thinking the cold will keep it fresh, but the exact opposite happens. That cold, damp air ruins your coffee's flavor, strips its nutrients, and sets off internal risks you do not want to ignore. Coffee is extremely absorbent. It pulls in moisture and odor from everything around it. Once it's in the fridge, condensation forms inside the bag or container. That invisible moisture activates mold spores. It degrades the natural oils inside the bean. And what you're left with isn't coffee. It's a bitter, acidic brew that can inflame your gut, stress your kidneys, and leave you feeling more wired, sick, and drained than energized. Seniors with sensitive digestion feel this most. If your morning coffee now triggers acid reflux, stomach tightness, or jittery nerves, it's probably not the brand. It's the mold and oil breakdown caused by cold storage. And the effects don't stop at the stomach. Oxidized coffee oils overstimulate the bladder. That means more urgent bathroom trips, less restful mornings, and more interruptions in sleep if you drink it later in the day. For seniors managing prostate issues, incontinence, or sleep disturbances, this is critical. Even mentally, poor coffee causes problems. If your focus feels weaker, your thoughts more foggy after drinking coffee, it's not your age. It's the rancid oils hitting your brain and nerves. Here's how to fix it. Store whole beans, not ground, in an airtight, opaque container at room temperature in a dry place. Never refrigerate or freeze unless you're vacuum sealing for long-term storage. If your coffee smells off, tastes harsh, or makes you feel worse than better, toss it. Fresh beans, ground just before brewing, are the only way to keep the benefits sharp, the acids controlled, and your energy clean. Food number 1. Avocados. Avocados are marketed as the perfect health food. Good fats, heart support, brain fuel. And yes, when stored properly, they are. But the moment you refrigerate an unripe avocado, you sabotage everything. And for seniors, that damage is serious. Here's what actually happens. An unripe avocado depends on temperature-sensitive enzymes to ripen properly. But refrigeration shuts those enzymes down. The fruit stops developing, it turns rubbery on the outside, stringy on the inside, and loses its healthy fat structure. Instead of staying heart protective, those oils begin to oxidize, becoming inflammatory, harder to digest, and more taxing for aging organs. If you're over 65, your body doesn't process fats the way it used to. Oxidized fats, like those in a cold damaged avocado, can raise LDL cholesterol, irritate the gallbladder, and trigger sluggish bile flow, leading to nausea, bloating, or sharp digestive pain after meals. If you've had strange stomach pressure after eating avocado toast or guacamole that tasted off, this is why. But it gets worse. Cold stored avocados become rich in oleic acid byproducts that irritate the gut lining. In seniors with slow motility, the result is gas, bowel irregularity, cramping, and fatigue that sneaks up hours later, blamed on other foods or age, but really triggered by this damaged fat source. And many seniors do this without knowing. They buy underripe avocados and toss them into the fridge to last longer. But instead of lasting, they chemically break down from the inside. The outside stays green, but the flesh becomes nutritionally dead, acidic, bitter, and inflammatory. If you're eating avocado for heart health, digestion, or brain clarity, but storing it wrong, you're not helping your body. You're silently stressing your liver, inflaming your gut, and wasting the one food that could have helped. Here's your fix. Always ripen avocados at room temperature. When the skin gives slightly and turns dark, they're ready. Only then should you place them in the fridge for no more than 24 to 48 hours. Eat them promptly. And if they look grey, smell sour, or feel rubbery, toss them. Oxidized oils are worse than no oils at all. Now you know the truth. Your fridge isn't just keeping food cold. It may be quietly damaging your gut, draining your energy, and accelerating the very symptoms you're trying to fight. After 65, the 9 foods we just exposed might look innocent, but inside your body, they trigger inflammation, block digestion, spike blood sugar, and wear down your strength day after day, bite after bite. You've got enough to manage already. You don't need your kitchen working against you. So, clear out the cold damaged foods, follow the fixes, and protect your body with every choice. Because at this age, the smallest change can make the biggest difference. Before you go, tell us in the comments, what's one food you've been refrigerating without even thinking about it? And if this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button because we release urgent, senior-focused health videos every single week to keep you strong, sharp, and independent. You're not too old. You're just one smart decision away from feeling better. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.